And welcome back to KTN News Desk. I'm Michael Karanja. Now, away from matters ICC and Croiler Chicken, something more pertinent to business owners is how to keep proper books of accounts when it comes to just maintaining their and running their businesses from a day-to-day basis. And to help me break this down, I'm now joined by Dr. Patrick Ngumi, who's the CEO of the Institute of Certified Public Accounts of Kenya, or ICPAK. Dr. Ngumi, just to start us off, where are we as a country when it comes to companies keeping proper records when it comes to account for accounting purposes?
My comment is that most companies keep books, especially those companies that are of a public interest nature, like listed companies, or those are the companies that are under regulatory authorities. However, there's a growing demand and need for keeping books for tax accounting purposes and also for credit purposes.
Yeah. But when you look at listed companies and those ones like insurance firms that actually have regulators, for them it's more for keeping proper books and somewhere where regulators can track. But we've seen the growth of SMEs and some of these businesses that are coming up on a day-to-day basis. How important is it for them to keep proper records?
It's important because the financial statements have a wide range of users. And for example, they are the stakeholders like banks, they are stakeholders like regulators, they are even the customers, also users of those financial statements. And it is important for entities, regardless of their size, to keep books of accounts.
Yeah. And just looking at that, how we have reached a certain level where you're confident as the accounting fraternity of that people are actually on the right track and ensure that businesses can grow because they have somewhere where they can track the progress that they've made?
I think the adoption of maintaining books is not really widespread in Kenya. Yeah. Because you'll find most of the entities that maintain books are those that it's a requirement for them to keep the books. The other, by and large, keep books as on a voluntary basis. Yeah. But it's always good to have books of accounts kept by all these organizations, and especially in view of the fact that we are looking at Kenya becoming an international financial services hub. We are looking at attracting international investors, and these are some of the simple issues they look at.
Yeah. Yeah. And as ICPAK, are you reaching out to some of these up-and-coming enterprises that nowadays people are starting businesses? Are you reaching out to them and then more or less educating them on the need to keep some of these records?
Yes, we do have a lot of activities where we do them in partnership with most of our stakeholders in educating Kenyans, especially those who are in business, educating them on the need to maintain books. And more so, this is why we always encourage investors and those who are doing business to employ qualified accountants because they understand the value of keeping good books.
Let's say a company has no records and they want to approach a bank and they want a loan. Have you seen cases where actually people are actually turned away, not because they're not doing the right business, but it's just because the bank simply doesn't understand what kind of business they're doing?
Those cases are there, but I think it comes mostly from some ignorance, for people not appreciating that keeping good records of your financial status is important. And I think any lender would like to have a certain degree of comfort that at least he's lending to a good organization. And this can be reflected in the financials, cash flows, profit and loss, and the balance sheet.
In 2002, your organization, ICPAK, started the FIRE Awards. Was this more to incentivize people and just keep track and tell people that actually keeping proper financial statements is the way to go?
Okay, FIRE Award, just to take you back, is an acronym for financial reporting. The objectives of FIRE Award are three-pronged, and we do have the first objective is to encourage excellence in financial reporting. Yeah. The second objective is to encourage good or foster or promote good corporate governance practices, and the third one was to encourage good corporate social responsibility and environmental reporting. Basically, in all that, in a wholesome, is what we call integrated reporting. You can see we are not just talking about numbers. We are talking of corporate governance. We are talking of corporate social investment, and we're also talking of environmental reporting. It's integrated reporting. That was the essence of the FIRE Award, which is 13 years old
and when is this year's edition?
This year's edition, we're going to hold it on 23rd and 24th of October. On 23rd, we'll be having a conference, and the award dinner, or the gala dinner, will be held on the 24th of October at Safari Park Hotel.
All right.
Yeah.
Dr. Ngumi, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
That has been Dr. Patrick Ngumi from the Institute of Certified Public Accountants, just giving us more information on why it's important for people to keep proper records of their businesses. We now take a short commercial break, but when we come back, Ian Wafula will be on standby giving us some interesting news about the Stanchart Marathon slated for later on this month. So don't go too far.